Welcome to Theatre Reviews with Paul Severn. I'm here at the Chichester Festival Theatre to see the Government Inspector. Chichester Festival Theatre really pulled out all the stops for the launch of the 2025 season. They've got a legendary director, a fantastic set, and a stage-filling cast, plus 3 musicians as a bonus. In the end, this production of The Government Inspector turns out to be slightly less than the sum of its parts, but it's not for want of trying, and I thoroughly recommend it if you're looking for a good night out. Keep watching to find out more about this still relevant satire on government corruption, and about a moment of physical comedy that anyone who sees it will never forget. But first, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Gogol's The Government Inspector is a copper-bottomed classic, revolutionary when it was written nearly 200 years ago, and still an enjoyable satire on corrupt local officials. Constant revivals and more contemporary plays inspired by it, Accidental Death of an Anarchist springs to mind, may have blunted its sharpness, but its depiction of politicians' greed, bullying and cowardice still strikes a chord. And no wonder in an era of COVID scandals and a US president who humiliates and attacks his closest allies. This production is helped by a febrile new translation by Phil Porter, but most of all by the decision of former Royal Shakespeare Company artistic director Gregory Doran to turn up the physical comedy to boiling point. Some of the slapstick had me in stitches. There's an extraordinary moment when someone falls through a roof and crashes onto a bed, which I still can't believe happened. In fact, I was too shocked to laugh initially. On another occasion, a character feels weak at the knees and then walks as if his legs are made of rubber. The story is pretty simple. There's a report that a government inspector is due to visit a town full of corrupt officials. A conman is mistaken for that investigator, and the frightened civic chiefs try to mollify him with flattery and bribes. The truth is eventually revealed, but by then he's squeezed a fortune out of them and gone on his way. All the characters are caricatures and none have any redeeming features. In fact, the longer the play goes on, the more nasty they're revealed to be. Even Klestakov, the fake inspector, while he might be a hero for exposing and humiliating the officials, is no better than them in his unpleasantness to everyone around him. His arrogance and general amorality is offset by his confidence and charm, which are perfectly portrayed by a tall, smiling Tom Rosenthal. Leading the dupes is the mayor, a bustling little man and a classic bully, condescending and sometimes vicious to those below him, obsequious to those he considers his superiors. You can feel the mayor's mounting frustration and fear in Lloyd Hutchinson's excellent portrayal. The judge, an unashamed womanizer and proud to take bribes, is a huge man, played by Joe Dixon with northern bluntness. Christopher Middleton as the head of schools is a wide-eyed nervous wreck, and Oscar Pearce as the charity commissioner is actually the one who's the most self-serving and disloyal of all, and that's saying something given the competition. Bobchinsky and Dobchinsky could be straight out of Munchkinland, or Tweedledum and Tweedledee if you like. They're on the outside of the corrupt group, trying to get in. Wearing almost identical dapper suits, these social climbers are constant rivals in their desperation to impress. Played by Miltos, Yerolemou and Paul Ryder, they provide the best verbal and physical comedy, as well as the only moment of poignancy in the entire play, when they reveal to the fake inspector their chronic need for social status. The mayor's wife is a familiar character from comedy down the ages. Just think Mrs. Bennet, or right up to Sybil Fawlty, and a number of other ambitious middle-class snobs. Sylvestra Le Touzel wrings plenty of laughs out of this stereotype. Her daughter, who is both subservient and a rival to her mother, is given a nicely judged performance by Laurie Ogden. Both are pursued by the indiscriminately libidinous Klestakov. Assisting him is another trope, the kind of clever, resourceful servant that must have been a cliché even 2 centuries ago. but Nick Haverson throws himself into the role as if it was a fresh idea. And that's just half the cast. You're watching Theatre.Reviews with Paul Seven. On my website, Theatre.Reviews, you can read my reviews and also my unbiased roundups of what other critics say about London shows. I also provide value ratings. Anyway, back to the Government Inspector and why you should see it. In what seems like a rarity these days, this classic is set in the original time and place, Russia in the early 19th century. This gives distance and means that you can draw your own parallels with any government, anywhere, anytime. Better still, it allows for some colourful period costumes from designer Francis O'Connor, including the musicians playing between acts what looks like traditional Russian folk dress. He also provides a surreal set that uses filing cabinet drawers overflowing with papers, not only as part of the walls, but also along the apron of the thrust stage. The effect is of chaotic bureaucracy bursting out of an old-fashioned office. The slapstick reduces in the second act as we discover the true barbarity of these comic characters, which frankly isn't funny. But there is still time for an hilarious climactic fight involving almost all the cast. And congratulations must go to movement director Mike Ashcroft. There may not be quite as many laughs as the opening scenes promise, nor is there a single twist that you didn't see coming, but the Government Inspector at Chichester is still a lot of fun and as shockingly relevant today as it has ever been. Seeing those terrible politicians getting their comeuppance is alone worth the price of the ticket. I give The Government Inspector 4 stars. I hope you found this review enjoyable or at least useful, and if you did, please like, comment and subscribe to this channel. Then you'll be the first to know about my future reviews. You can also read my reviews at Theatre.Reviews, where I also do unbiased roundups of other critics' reviews of London shows, plus value ratings. And you can follow me on social media. Thank you for watching.